Um, well, hey, hey, each and everybody. How boy, and welcome to a very special Smoke and Mirrors. This episode is brought to you by the musical question, what did the five fingers say to the face? And now, here's a song. Well, if I got a separate bitch, gonna make it look sexy. Said if I gotta hit a nigga, gonna make it look sexy. And now, here they are, your invenerable host, Carlos Karim. The Glockenspiel, so you know it's real. Although I don't know what's real anymore. I can't make hides nor hairs, and so wanted to discuss it today because here's the thing: I've been for years doing everything I can to get over celebrity and not give a single solitary fuck about the Oscars. Really have been trying. I am the kind of biche who used to have Oscar parties in high school, which should be a surprise to nobody who would watch this. And the very sparse attendance at said parties should also be no surprise to anybody who knows me or knows that. But yesterday was a bit of a shocker. So on a Monday, not a Thursday. Let's get into it. Hey, this is Smoke and Mirrors. You know what it is because you came here on purpose. Please be watching us on the YouTube. Why? Well, because Zuckerberg doesn't deserve all of this free content. But if you are watching on Facebook because you're not on the YouTubes, guess what? That's okay. We love you. Like it, subscribe, share, tell a friend. That's one way you could support it. If you wanted to support it financially, you could drop $5 on it at Venmo, Catalyst-Wyndham, Cash App, $, CK Wyndham, PayPal /PayPal/me dot CK Wyndham. And if you really want to get into it at the Patreon, you could do it at the Patreon at Smoke and Mirrors CCB. The patrons who you see, there's names slinging down the screen, are the folks who really make this happen by continuing with their very ill thought out support, including Jessica, who's here with us right now. So let's get into it. First came the fuck around. The fuck around was the time that Chris Rock, who has become the Don Rickles of award shows for years, all he's been doing, most of what he's been doing, is getting on stage and insulting all kinds of people. He, at an Oscar ceremony, insulted the entire Asian community recently, a couple of years ago. At one Grammy ceremony, he insulted Ricky Martin to his face to a degree that it looked like Ricky Martin, he didn't want to cry. He wanted to pull what I guess we would call in this day and age a Will Smith by saying that Ricky was truly living la vida loca and was in need of a hit like a crackhead. Anyway, he does these weird, salacious, hacky jokes because Chris Rock comes from the Mitzi Gaynor School of Comedy, which is the LA Comedy Club School of Comedy. That is the darkest room on the planet, one that is infamous for comics who are so unhappy with the world and the thing they become out of that room that they do not stay on this earth until their natural end. Several comics have committed suicide who've come from there. Many career suicide, and mostly because it's an insult comic factory. A lot of crowd work, a lot of insulting people and punching down other famous comics who came from there. Dave Chappelle, there's one. Joe Rogan, he saved the Comedy Store. Who else comes out of there? Freddie Prinze, not Junior, the one who killed himself, Chico, Chico and the Man fame. A lot of famous comics. Many of the women recovered pretty well, and many of them stay in that frame and continue screaming about cancel culture. There's no cancel culture. Stop it. You can say whatever you want. Go for it. Go for it. That is the fuck around. That is the fuck around. And so Chris Rock, in the tradition of the fuck around, of punching down, of doing crowd work, decided to take a swing at Jada Pinkett. This was not the first. The first time was years ago when he said to her she would never be nominated. Fair. She's not very good as an actress. But it was a little low blow. It was a little low blow for somebody who will never be nominated. And then last night, he decided he was going to make mention of her physical appearance. Now, the thing is, she is very famous for hosting the Red Table Talks, where she has spoken very often and frequently about why she is rocking this particular hairstyle, and it's that she wanted to be as sexy as me. She, as do many black women, including Ilhan Omar, suffer alopecia, and so is bald because decided not to hang on to European standards about what a black woman should look like. And we are in the age of the Dora Milaje, where black women without hair are clearly seen as feminine and beautiful if that is what they want to be seen as. Well, he made a twofold joke. Do you have a cup of fucks? Please get your warm cup of fucks. Fill your fucks up. Good God. Turns out I do give a fuck. Why do I give a fuck about celebrity? Well, we'll get into it. What's that, Joshua? No. Yeah, right. Representative and the signifying and all the shit. We're going to get into it. Very excited. It's a Monday show. I'm going to be honest with you, a little behind the scenes. Joshua and I had about 35 minutes total to put the show together today. So we do not have a full script per se, but we do have some images, because while there was the fuck around, there was also the find out, wasn't it? There's the find out. That's what the find out looks like. Yikers. Now, as a habitual and perpetual line stepper myself, Jessica, as a stand-up myself, as a provocateur, some have said myself, Talib Kweli, for instance, believes that I should mind my own business and that I'm a goofy fuck. I believe that he should not steal women's music and try to extort them for sex. So, we have different beliefs. That's all. I am aware as a stand-up that they and given the things that I talk about in the temperament country, there may be a point where somebody decides to make a move in the crowd, which is why I ask for all the white men in the audience at the beginning of every show to just raise their hands, and then we have security come through and check for their guns. Because So from that vantage point, I understand what's being said by a lot of the comics. Oh, this is not right. This is free. What about the freedom of speech? And what about cancel culture? Cancel culture. Cancel culture. He's a very good friend of Joe Rogan. Cancel culture. Cancel. People say, how come? Okay, I've heard this critique of me before. Wow, how come your most feminine voices come out when you are demonstrating a state of distress? And here's what I said. What I was actually referred to as a gay voice by a friend once, a colleague, said, you do this gay voice when you're talking about a state of distress. To which I said, what gay voice? It's just my voice. It's just my voice. I'm sorry. And I'm not. Non-binary people don't know your femininity, nor our masculinity. And also, it would be weirder if I were doing an actual imitation of Joe Rogan in his voice. So, cancel culture! And so, all the cancel culture people, of course, are horrified that this would happen. How could one of our own get slapped for doing this? I, for one, am looking forward to the hot takes concerning, what Joe Rogan would have done. One thing Joe Rogan certainly wouldn't have done is been invited to read Bruce Valanche's hacky ass joke on stage at the Oscars. That wouldn't have happened. But aside all of that, it was a stunning thing to see. What, of course, is happening now is that there's all sorts of opinions flying about, my own as well. A lot of hot takes. I'm trying to keep my takes cool, because I don't know that the hot takes help. Here's an unpopular take I'm going to offer. Will Smith may have been demonstrating his true feelings about this circumstance through a place of trauma. That was a trauma response. After slapping the dog shit out of Chris Rock and turning very calmly to his seat, tears welling up and doing everything he could not to get up and kill him, he said very simply, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. Chris Rock defended the action as a comedian might, though he looked a little scared, saying, dude, it was a G.I. Jane joke. Before he could finish that sentence, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. Loud enough for the entire auditorium. The entire auditorium to hear. And then sat in his chair shaking. Until a few minutes later, when he was named Best Actor after Questlove won Documentary of the Year, which is what Chris Rock was supposed to be talking about when he decided, in very poor taste, to make the hacky joke about women. You could have made a Dora Milaje joke, my friend. You could have said, Jada, look at you with your Dora Milaje haircut. You got this whole room nervous. I can hear their sphincters tightening up. White people all around me. Choo, 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 choo. You know, that's the song that they sing. That way, he couldn't have told that joke. That's my joke. I wrote that joke. That's my joke that I've been working with for a while now. But he could have said any kind of thing, though. It's where we aim. It's who we aim at. It's how we aim it. It's not the thing you're talking about. Yes, you can talk about anything in the world. There is a question, though, about whether you are punching up, punching down, and what you are doing to help the actual situation. Humiliating a woman who's been talking about this very visible disability. Can't she recover? Is it a temporary disability? Maybe, yes, if she subjects herself to all sorts of chemicals so that she can reach some European standard. Again, that black women are supposed to have hair in the workplace, which she does not owe you. She could. Clearly, she ain't about that life. Now, that's how I see it. Black Twitter's going off. There's a lot of back and forth. Should this happen? Shouldn't this happen? What should happen next? Here's another thing that's happening. A lot of people who are not black are offering their opinions on the situation and offering their racial takes on this. Here's the thing that you folk can do is to I in my fridge I have I spent the whole night making it. I was baking all night, and they're cooling now. Any and non-black person, pardon me, who's got a super hot take that you want to share, just before you do, I would invite you. I'm gonna carve them up. I'm gonna cut them up. I'm gonna bring them out to indulge in a nice room temperature slice. I'm gonna give you plate size slice of shut the fuck up. Another thing that has happened is that white folks have been in an awful hurry to find their respectable Negroes, including on CNN, where Sarah Seidner, who is a CNN anchor, a very, 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 very light skinned CNN anchor with very European hair, now that it's been straightened and pressed into something that looks like that, sitting along the very dark skin for the aesthetic and the look of it to make the point. Eric Deggans, who is a TV critic for NPR, what they were doing on the television screen on the CNNs this morning on New Day Today was shaming Will Smith. Shaming Will Smith. Also, please notice the chyron there. Will Smith wins Best Actor moments after punching Chris Rock. He absolutely did not, Jessica, to your point, made a very conscious effort to slap and not punch that man. We're talking about a person who is about 6'2", weighing hundreds of pounds. He wasn't trying to kill Chris Rock. He wasn't trying to slap the shit out of Chris Rock, knock him into the ground. He was just going to teach him a lesson. Open-handed slap. There is a level of disrespect that is tied to toxic masculinity in that was also exercised. Choices. Okay. Could Will Smith have just shouted first, "Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth"? And if Chris Rock said another thing, done a thing. Could Will Smith have asked Jada Pinkett, "Are you okay?" and made a decision about what Jada needed rather than dealing with Chris Rock at all? Certainly, that's a move as well. Here's another thing, though. Maybe stop talking about black women. Stop disrespecting black women. Stop thinking that it's funny to talk about black women. And if you do think it's funny, you may find that somebody is going to want to slap the dog shit out of you. Will Smith finally did. Now, he was reacting from a place of trauma. Again, I'm not encouraging people to move from a place of trauma. He was moving from a place of a lot of pain. I'm not encouraging people to move from a place of pain. There is a reality, though, that we have to face. The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman. El Haj Malik El Shabazz, or as Americans know him, Malcolm X. That's not his name. Just saying, that's not his name. There's a position that is a revolutionary position, that is one that says, I don't care where we are. You don't talk about black women that way, and you certainly do not talk about my wife that way, and most absolutely do not talk about her illness that way. There are other black men who have disrespected black women, have histories of it, and have an awful lot of enormous power to spew their opinions publicly from a platform that has absolutely no recourse and no redress, including the dishonorable Clarence Thomas of the Supreme Court. Been considering this man since the 90s. Since it came to light that his disrespect of his colleague, was such that it elevated to the degree of pubic hairs of his being put on her drinking instruments, on her Coca-Cola cans. Having a whole life absolutely impacted and destroyed Dr. Lonnie Guinier, for a very long time. She's recovered. She's doing very well. She looks great. We'll get into that a little bit later too. But it's not new. It's not new being subjected to these abuses from men generally, from men of power generally, for black women, including black women who would be put into the places of the highest powers in the United States. Black women going on the Supreme Court, for instance, having to being nominated to the Supreme Court, knowing that the number's there, that she's going to go to the Supreme Court, having to be subjected to the histrionics of what had been her colleagues in terms of those creating and enforcing the laws, she being an enforcer as a judge, those who create, including Lindsey Graham, who is very upset. Very upset. I cannot believe that a black lady as black as you would have an opportunity as bright as this. This is one of the blackest days in the days of history. Mimo! There's a black lady gonna be on the SCOTUSes. You know, this man had a SCOTUS in his pants by the time this was all over. I did wonder, and I did wonder this publicly, there's no way this man smelled okay under his suit either, right? Like, there's no way by the end of the day that he was busy demonstrating how much he hates black women, black people. Because, see, you've got a black lady judge being nominated to SCOTUS. That is a problem in and of itself. But the thing is, she's being nominated by Joe Biden, who is a race traitor. Race traitor how? Well, he, did bring in a black vice president. Yuck. Also, wasn't he the one who was riding the coattails of Barack Obama? So isn't he Barack Obama II? So fuck that race trading asshole. Except that it was that race trading asshole who pushed forward and sent forward the nomination of Clarence Thomas and actually voted for it. Some of the Republicans who were pointing out what was happening in these histrionics did say, hey, you do not deserve this kind of treatment at all. And I'm sorry my colleagues are doing that right before they voted against her nomination to the Supreme Court. There's Lonnie. She could have been helped by Bill Clinton. She could have been helped by Joe Biden. She could have been believed. And we would not have Clarence Thomas on the Supreme Court now, which would be dope. For all kinds of reasons. Clarence Thomas is an ultra-conservative who was put on the Supreme Court to replace Thurgood Marshall. And the thinking of the Republican Party is that, well, if we put an ultra-conservative there who is also just super duper black, I mean, we're going to find a dark-skinned man. We're going to find a man who makes Don Cheadle look light-skinned. And we're going to put that man in the position, provided he says the conservative things that we want to hear. And they did. And this woman was publicly humiliated and tortured for it. Now, if Clinton had tried to intervene, probably would have looked really sloppy because of the look of some of his own shenanigans with women that had taken place already. Oh. Oh yeah, that's his wife. That's Ginny Thomas. Ginny Thomas, who's being subpoenaed now by the January 6th committee because of two things. One, she was actually at the January 6th rally and denies having gone inside the building. I think that could be cleared up by the FBI because there is video of her that she took while she was there. It was she was upset. Also, of course, all of the texts between her and Chief of Staff Mark Meadows after the election and after the election was certified, telling the Chief of Staff to keep fighting for Trump and with Trump and against the Constitution and all the people who voted. That's his wife. That's his wife. They call each other their best friends in public. They've done that for years. There's a text where she tells Mark Meadows, hey, I feel okay now that I've spoken to you, Mark Meadows, Chief of Staff, and my best friend who is on the Supreme Court because Joe Biden allowed that to happen during Clinton when he sexually assaulted and multiple times harassed. It's just not. Anyway, Jada is, from the Red Talk table. Like, you know her. Why? First of all, why would you even do that? This is Tupac's ex-girlfriend. We're like, what is wrong with you? You know who she is. Do you know where Will Smith is from? From West Philadelphia, born and raised. Come on. They don't roll like that. What are you doing? There black women have written whole songs. Don't touch my hair. Did you not listen to a word that was said by Solange, who, by the way, beat the dog shit out of Jay-Z in an elevator right before they got out to get their pictures taken at the goddamn Met Gala? Why did you think Will Smith wouldn't just walk up and slap you to the white meat? Again, I am expecting as a stand-up that there is going to come a time that somebody, if I'm not assassinated on stage, certainly going to come a time that some white man is going to walk up on stage and punch me dead in my beautiful mouth. Can we do Bill Cosby next? I don't know. It seems very easy for folk who do not live under the constant barrage and psychic and emotional assault of misogynoir to talk about how raising one's hands in defense of black women is absolutely unacceptable in any circumstance, whatever. And as I watched that, all I could think was, what would Harriet Tubman do? Hey, I'm not going to be here on Thursday with you. I'm not going to be here on Thursday with you. It's not going to happen because on Thursday, you're going to be with me and Dahlia at the Aftermath, which is live in person comedy, stand-up comedy. And music for the apocalypse. We are going to be presenting you earfuls and eyefuls of both this month. Come on out, man. It's $10. What are you gonna lose? 8 p.m. The sun has just gone down. We're gonna go down. Everybody go down. Go down for your health. Everybody likes to go down. Who doesn't like to go down? If you're afraid to go down, you know, maybe it's just not your thing. Maybe it's just not your thing. That just got really dark in my head and really gross. And hey, come get some of that comedy on Thursday. This has been another Smoke and Mirrors. Hey, I owed it to you. Really, really sorry about missing last Thursday. Won't be here this Thursday. So this was a special edition. Had to respond to Clarence, had to respond to Will, had to respond to Chris. Everybody hates Chris. Do you like what we do? Well, go ahead and join the IG at Smoke and Mirrors CCB. There you will see features of every single topic that we have ever talked about, every guest that we have spoken to, and of course, the link to the the YouTube page. If you would like to see some of the jokes, the words, the thoughts that come into my brain and out of my fingers faster than I can stop them, well, go ahead and go over to Twitter at Caballo Negrito. Twitter at Caballo Negrito for the monolingual amongst you. That literally translates to fuck around and find out. Caballo Negrito, fuck around and find out. Hey, do you have a question, comment, or thought about a guest that might want to be on Smoke and Mirrors and or a subject we should be talking about? Go ahead and hit us up at smokeandmirrorsccb at gmail.com. Yes, we are aware that we have a couple of folks who are trying to get on for conversations. We will be to you as quickly as we can and see what we can do about getting you on the show. We are running on slightly limited staff these days. What do I mean by that? Well, this is a thing that is produced and hosted by myself, Carlos Kareem Wyndham. The production associate, of course, is Joshua. Joshua, hey, good job today, buddy. Good job. Everybody give it up for Joshua, huh? Come on. One time. One time. Hey, wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us for another Smoke and Mirrors, and we will see you next time. Until then, please take care of yourself, take care of each other, get vaccinated, and maybe don't talk shit about Black women's disabilities. All right. We will see you next time. I love you. Okay, bye-bye.